What's up, YouTube? Here's another movie review. This movie is about last night. And it's not about last night. The movie is called About Last Night. For the most part, I like this movie. I think it was pretty okay. I never saw the original version of the movie, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. So I'm looking at it as a standalone film. You know, sometimes I even look at it, they say, like, this movie was a remake of this kind of movie. I'm like, well, you know, maybe it'd be a remake, but this movie's storyline was just so basic and so bland that it could have been a remake of a lot of movies. Any movie. So, so definitely the main storyline took place between Michael's character and Joy's character. That was like the main storyline in my opinion. And Regina Hall and Kevin Hart were there for comic relief. So pretty much like the Michael Ealy, Joy Bryan storyline was, this is a couple that just met and they fall in love, and then they, you know, Michael gets in a little bit of trouble, you know, at work. He's not getting any kind of satisfaction, so he pretty much pushes Joy Bryan away. And then somehow in the end, they all come back together again. The both of them come back together again through love, some shit like that. And here's my opinion: Joy Bryan was too fine in this movie for Michael Ealy to push her away. I'm sorry for the spoilers, y'all. Forgive me, but this is your basic 1, 2, 3 step romantic comedy. Like, if you didn't see the end coming, then sorry for you. But here's the review. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give this movie a good solid 5 because like their storyline was kind of bland, but then you relied on Regina Hall and Kevin Hart to bring the comic relief, you know, to like keep the mood light. And it's like they studied Tyler Perry films, because I looked at them and like they looked like the Marcus and whoever her name is, the Tasha character, like the Tasha and Marcus characters from Why Did I Get Married? Why Did I Get Married Too? Because they were just like arguing all the time, and they just had like that same high energy. And even though I appreciate that higher energy in some parts of the movie, like it's too much sometimes. Like it gets overwhelming, and you rely too much on like that high energy, you know, weirdness. And it's like the movie was good enough on its own, even though I did say it was boring. Like it was good enough to where they could have toned down the funniness a little bit, and it would have came across as a lot more effective than trying to turn it into a comedy. Whereas the movie itself is really a dramedy, like it's like a drama and a comedy. So they just toned down that energy a little bit more. I think it would have been a little bit more effective, and it'll actually like benefit the movie a lot more. Another take that I look at this as, most of the stars are going to be in the Think Like a Man movie series. Like Kevin Hart, Michael, and Regina are probably going to be in Think Like a Man too. So I'm looking at this like a prelude to Think Like a Man 2. Like if you're a fan of Think Like a Man and you're going to think about seeing Think Like a Man 2, then you should see this movie, because this is pretty much like a setup movie. Like, okay, how do people recognize that these are the same actors that's going to be in this other movie? Because 3 of them are going to be in this movie, and the same kind of like feel, you know, that Think Like a Man 2 is probably going to have. Like this movie had, like it had cameos. Salita E. Banks is in the movie. It had a few cameos here and there, you know, a few funny moments here and there. You know, the story was, even though I didn't say it was bland, but you know, the story was pretty decent. So I think it's pretty much like it's going to be a set the tone film for Think Like a Man 2. Like any kind of mistakes that they made in this movie, or any kind of direction that they want to make in this movie, then it's going to like, all right, what can we take from About Last Night that we can add or take away from Think Like a Man 2? Because that's how I pretty much look at it. Like they may have like a few parallels here and there. So if you like movies like 5 Year Engagement, if you like movies like I Think I Love My Wife, then I say for sure, you know, check out this movie. It has that same kind of feel to it. You know, filmed the same kind of way. You know, it's not too overwhelming. You know, even though it can be overwhelming at times, but for the most part, I think you should check out the movie. And another side note, I'm glad that Regina Hall is getting her. Is definitely playing these type of movies now. She was a staple in the Scary Movie series, but to actually see her branch out into other kind of films like this is definitely a plus for her. And I'm glad to see her in these type of movies. So all in all, check out the film.